It's a segment that we'll call the Daily Pickle.
I am in a pickle.
We actually get to say that on the radio.
An exclusive presentation of the Rob Dibble Show.
Oh, been watching a lot of baseball, man. Waiting for these national championships. We didn't even talk about the men's championship. We could do that next hour as Florida takes it with the men, and one of the most poorly shot probably finals I've ever witnessed for the men's side. And it was amazing in the first half for the women. We'll have David Benedict at 5:25. But watching the Yankees today, man, it's tough to hit a guy like Scooble. I mean, that's like a guy that usually they pay $200 million for, and he just absolutely dominated them today. We've talked about that bat. How about this, Pickle? Jazz Chisholm right now, 0 for 4 today, hitting a $196, I-96, leads the American League in strikeouts. Leads the American League in strikeouts. So Volpe was 0 for 3 with a strikeout and a walk. He's hitting 250. He had a very nice weekend. But it's not about the bat. We talked about that last week, and I just think too much has been made about the bat. But as you start facing the pitchers as they get acclimated, and it's only the second week of the season, they're settling in. You need to settle in. These starters have now made 3 starts, and when you look at this Detroit Tigers team, listening to the game, Scooble had 17 scoreless innings to start the playoffs last year in his first playoffs. This kid smells it. And so he knows we're probably going to have to face the Yankees to get to the World Series at some point. 6 innings, 4 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts, 87 pitches. They're certainly not going to leave him out there for 110 or 120 in the first week of April. But that kid's money.
Well, it was Mize yesterday, and the Detroit Tigers 7-4 right now. They've been skunking the New York Yankees. Today was a perfect example. That game only lasted 2 hours. 2 hours. We were expecting to be on the air in another 5 or 6 minutes at 5 o'clock, but that game flew by because of the great Yankee bats, and yesterday was no exception, man. I don't know if the Yankees are really that good. It's still early. Like the Padres are off to a humongous start. I don't know if they're that as good as.
No, the Giants are too.
Giants are too.
Giants, Padres, Dodgers, all around like 9-5 or 8-4. They're off to great starts.
Yeah, for the New York Yankees, I thought a lot of these series too were kind of softballs for them to really get a big lead going. Even going back to the loss in Pittsburgh.
Listen, Carrasco's a great strike thrower. He's 59 pitches, 40 strike, but they're right in the hitting zone. And I wouldn't say that Detroit has a bunch of mashers on their team. Torkelson's good. Green's pretty good. Keith is really good. But, most of this lineup, they're not the strongest hitters in the major leagues. And, 9 hits, 5 runs, 4 home runs today. They look like the Bronx Bombers. And trust me, that ballpark is not an easy hitter's ballpark, although I think that's why they're playing these day games, because the ball flies, even though it's a little bit chilly in Detroit. Did you watch the Boston game last night? How cold was it? It had to be 35 to 40 degrees. You could see it. It looked like a December football game where
it's football weather.
You see the smoke coming out of their mouths as they're breathing, and I'm like, that's the time you want to pitch, man. That's when nobody wants to be holding a piece of wood. I don't care if it's a torpedo bat or any bat. You don't want to be holding it and trying to hit off guys throwing 95.
Well, it was New York Yankees today. It snowed yesterday in Detroit. A little bit of flakes today, and that's why they're moving games up, because it's going to be even colder when the sun drops. But you see nothing but the ninja mask that everybody's wearing, like the full hoodie stuff for the New York Yankees. So, yeah, going from Florida straight up to this New England weather, man, I don't know. That's fall ball or spring ball, early spring ball. You should be used to it by now. The Red Sox, though, getting it together. They had that doubleheader that was squeezed in there. They did lose to the Blue Jays last night, 6-2, but they had to play, what was it, 2 Sunday Cardinals? We had to squeeze that in. But did have a humongo game where Rafael Devers went 4 for 4. So that's good to see.
Listen, he's a great hitter. I kind of laugh when you have 4 games and you go 0 for 20 with 15 strikeouts. Something was wrong. Kurt actually brought this up. He had his feet together and it looked like he was doing something a little bit different. Maybe they were working on something in spring. I don't know. But I think the DH takes time to mentally get over sitting on your butt all damn day. And for anybody who's ever played, everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to play the field. Everybody begs to get out there on the field. Nobody wants to be limited to 4 at-bats a day. And,
what else do you do to kill the time?
He can swing, but, everybody's different. The problem is, David Ortiz got accustomed to it, and it takes years of mental preparation to sit the whole game. You never get out. You never go out and run around in the field and catch balls and things like that, and you're not really in the flow of the game.
But I think Poppy just has a different setup mentally. He's a social person more so than Raffy seems to be. Would you disagree with that?
I don't know. I can't disagree or agree with it. I can only say that Poppy was a horrible fielder, and he probably welcomed getting off the field. Devers is a decent fielder, and even at first base, he'd be better off probably than sitting on the bench dwelling about a bad at bat. And I think that's what he had to overcome. And, what is he, 10 for his last 20? And now he's hitting 244, and not that everything's perfect. It's a long season, but he's got a lot of help. I'll tell you what, hitting near Bregman and getting that protection, that kid's nails, man. He's hitting doubles, home runs, hitting over 300, playing a great third base. I think that was a great get. We hated him on Houston, but I think we like him on Boston.
So there is a caper going around the city of Detroit from last night, and a reason Cody Bellinger was not on the field today. Aaron Boone, the manager of the Yankees, has come out to say it was a tainted order of chicken wings that somehow, kind of like a Michael Jordan Pizzagate situation in Utah where they flued his pizza or gave him some kind of bad pizza to eat, still won the game. Cody Bellinger may have gotten some tainted chicken wings from Detroit Tigers fans that work some kind of pizza and wings outfit, knowing they were giving it to a Yankee in their order.
All right. Well, first of all, you're staying at the Ritz-Carlton or the Four Seasons, a 5-star hotel. So I don't believe that to be true. Second, who's ordering wings when you could eat prime rib every night, or ribeyes, or
maybe
steak
it's
and lobsters.
a ritual thing. Maybe he needs. It's like
maybe
Sedano
or Wade Boggs.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have great food. You have great food. You don't need to eat greasy wings from probably if it's an outside delivery service would be absolutely whacked, because then you're asking for salmonella or something like that. I mean, I've heard of a lot of stuff, but poisoning someone's food, if that were to be true, not only would you lose your job, you'd probably go to jail.
Yeah.
So I'm not buying it.
Wow.
Not buying it.
Detroit, I would be, if it's not from Little Caesars.
I used to play in Detroit. I played for the White Sox and the Brewers. We went to Detroit. Wonderful hotel. To be poisoning people is a stretch. That's a stretch. Jordan got the flu. I don't know how you could put the flu into someone's food.
Sneeze on their pizza.
I don't think that's how it works. But I'm not believing the story. I think the guy's either hungover or some mystery disease, as we would call it, that he couldn't play.
Why don't they have a term for this in baseball? Like in hockey, man, it's lower body injury. Duh. And it's concussion protocol in NFL. They need to come up with something in baseball for hangover.
They do.
Because it's very specific. I mean, you picked out chicken wings, very specific. Tainted was the wording used from Boone. It was almost as if they are on to somebody somewhere. I need to know where these chicken wings came from.
Well, that's what I'm saying. First of all, it's easy. We could get a Yankees media guide, and it tells you where they stay at whatever hotel in any city. And I'm telling you right now, it's a Ritz-Carlton or it's a Four Seasons or it's the nicest hotel. Yeah.
They do this? They put that out there to the public?
Absolutely. They have for 30 years. Absolutely.
Ashman, you better get on this.
Back of how do you think these people show up and get their baseball cards signed?
Because they just know the bellman, and he told them 2 days before, yo, tip. Yankees are coming in. You guys say, hey, you own a chicken wing spot. You know what you need to do?
You get a media guide, or you get someone that has it, and then they print up like a there's a guide that tells you.
Why would they do that?
Because that's what we call them, green flies. That's what they do. They track you down. They get your autograph. And
No,
they make
but
money.
you're telling them where you are. Why would you tell them where you guys are? Like, what's the purpose of a major
We're not
league
doing it. The players aren't doing it. The teams do it. The league does. Why? All right, you want to get into this real quick?
Yeah, I do.
Why would Major League Baseball give the IRS our Social Security numbers? This was 35 years ago after we beat them in a collusion case, so that they could track us down to do the taxes of 6 games in New York, 6 games in wherever was out of our division.
I get that because they're trying to get money from you. Like, there's an incentive.
Who's trying to get money from us?
Whoever they're giving the Social Security.
No. The owners gave at the time. I can't remember if it was Faye Vincent. They gave the IRS our Social Security numbers so that they could come harass us. So then we had to fill out 16 tax returns every year. It was the same amount of taxes paid. It was about 39%.
Well, they're trying to make your life hell, and I get why they're doing it. But why would Major League Baseball now?
Because they don't value the players. So they put it in there so it's easy access. Why do you think radio stations would call us up at 4 a.m.? Why do you think people would come harass the crap out of you in the bar? Because they knew exactly where the teams stay.
I got that, but I do not believe they get that from Major League Baseball.
It's in the media guides.
That's crazy.
It's in the media guides. You get a Yankees media guide. It's got every hotel in every city that they stay at.
Why would you do that? I think that's so
right, because if you're printing out your media guide, you're in control of that media guide.
Exactly.
You can decide not to put that in there.
I
That
know,
just seems
I don't know
weird.
what the benefit of telling the world
for the actual Yankees to
this
be
is where we're staying.
Right.
Why do you think the Yankees have their own security? They go through the kitchen, and they don't go through the lobby. They haven't for 40 years, maybe
That's
more.
the Sinatra treatment, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I get you, but Bellinger's just a new member of this rat pack.
That's
and
why
he
I don't
likes
believe
his chicken wings from over on the other side of the street with the rest of the peons, and not the
Do you know how
Ritz-Carlton
quickly
wings.
they? All right, so figure they probably spend $100,000 a night at a Ritz-Carlton to bring the team in.
Yeah.
You're going to risk losing that team because you know how quick the traveling secretary next trip to Detroit would change hotels.
Exactly. So why would you print it in the media guide?
That's not. No, I'm talking about your tainted wing story.
Yeah, of course.
So you would lose $100,000 of business as a cook just to poison Bellinger. That's why I don't see it. It doesn't add up. Aaron Boone obviously isn't a deep thinker, but think about that for a second. You block off rooms, probably 50 to 75 rooms. Your radio crew, your TV crew, your front office people, the players, the coaches, all of those rooms are probably $500 a night at the Ritz-Carlton. You're going to lose that business of the New York Yankees permanently to spike somebody's wings.
Now, if I'm a average John Ashmead and I work at Average Wings, etc. Detroit, and I am a Red Sox fan, and I'm in the cooking line, and yo, Ashmead, we're making wings for the Yankees. What do you think about that? Make them good, bro. You're like, oh, yeah, I'll make them good, bro. I'm a Red Sox fan. You don't even know what this means, do you, with this hat on my head? And then all of a sudden, a little slippity-slip, something here, something there. It ain't my money that's losing $100,000. It's the owner's money. So I could easily
then let me flip it another way. Then wherever you ordered the outdoor wings from outside the hotel, now you go on worldwide media and you're like, it was Joe's Wing Shack.
Yep.
In downtown Detroit, your business is going to be ruined because you'll never get another Yankee person in there, and no one will ever order from you again.
But I'm in Detroit, and the hell with the Yankees! Did you hear what Joe's Wing Shack just did to Bellinger's wing order? Oh, and we're 2-0. We're gonna get a sweep because of Joe and what he did with the wings.
Let's go to Joe's.
Let's go to Joe's.
All right, let's take a quick break, come back, and we'll also talk about the men Florida and Houston played. The Got Masters Week coming up, and we'll talk some more about the 12 championship.
84 eastbound, the heavy is on exit 46 into 48 and westbound stop to go exit